Here's my favorite part of TK-15. This is mineralized quartz monzonite porphyry. If you take a closer look at it, it's loaded with chalcopyrite. The visual estimate, about 10% of the volume of this rock is chalco, or will be, I expect this section will run between 2-3% copper. But what is more exciting about this, I'm just placing this type of mineralized porphyry in the southern block that is uplifted. So when you do this, we know that uplifted block is oxidized on the top of the porphyry. So that means all this copper mineralization will be oxidized and drop down to the reduction zone, will be precipitated in other form of sulfide mineral chalcocite. If you compare, chalcopyrite has 34% copper, whereas chalcocite has 72%, twice as much. So for the same amount of volume, we could get much richer copper mineralization. And normally in the systems, when through the tectonic life, that elevation occurs several times, and every time the chalcocite, previously formed chalcocite blanket, get oxidized and dropped again down. The process repeats again multiple times and forms a nice chalcocite blanket. So that's why I'm very excited about this piece of the core from this new phase 4 drilling. The next step is we are looking at in the elevated block where the best part of chalcocite blanket formation could be. In order to see that, because we are drilling blind, we will use geophysics. Induced polarization geophysics will detect disseminated sulfide mineralization layer and will indicate hard chargeability. That will be the target. Drill hole TK-19 will be smack in the bullseye of that chargeability anomaly. MT will help us with some delineation of skarn because it has deeper penetration, but IP will help us with this delineation of this chalcocite blanket. So geophysics first in the southern block and then drill. This is a fresh piece of the core from the drill hole TK-15, gentlemen. To me, it's a very, very exciting piece of a drill core from the new information we obtained.
It's what we've been looking for. We've hit a lot of intrusive with not such a good showing as this piece, so this gives us more encouragement that it's down there.
Yeah.
We just need to find it.
Exactly.
I think that also like that the intrusive is mineralized gives us an important information on kind of which dikes are fertile and which dikes are not.
Yeah, so definitely it's a proof that the intrusive, there are some barren, and it's a dynamic system. Like in all dynamic systems, it is critical to identify which porphyry is causative that brought copper mineralization. Ideally, we would like to have several pulses of causative porphyry because if you take Grasberg as an example, that's where 3 porphyry intrusives bringing copper mineralization and gold mineralization were superimposed on each other. It's a basically natural hypogean enrichment process in the process formation of the ore body. But this is very exciting, gentlemen.
TK-15 is also an eye-opener in terms of the intrusive events. We have basically 2 different dikes that are really closely exposed in this core here. And here, this upper dike, what you can see here is that it has a high amount of phenocrysts and has only a little matrix. Then there is like this little exoskarn interval, and then there's this mineralized dike, which also shows a lot of endoskarn alteration. An interesting fact that I noticed is that only the lowermost part of that upper dike is slightly altered by pyroxene. What that tells us is that this dike is older, predating the mineralization, and that dike down there brought in the fluids, and that dike was somehow related to the main stock that we're looking for, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good indication of the dynamic process that we are dealing with in this system. Yeah, this barren and more mineralized. I actually would like to see more mineralized, several of those, and once we have them superimposed on each other, we will have a natural enrichment process to create a nice tenor of the copper ore body.